Happy Sunday. I just want to say, thank you, Holy Spirit. This is the day that the Lord hath made. I will rejoice and be glad. And I just want to say, as the Holy Spirit was speaking to me on this morning, He said, I didn't call, I didn't call you to be perfect. I called you for purpose. And many a times that the reason why we can't go forth because we think that we need a platform for one. We need to be perfect. And you're not going to be perfect. You're not perfect. God called you to purpose. And most of the time that it speaks to me because a lot of times we feel like we got to have it all together. We got to have this right before. We got to speak a certain way. We got to act a certain way. We got to all the work. God said, "Be ye holy, for I am holy." You must be. You must live a holy life before God. You can't. You can't talk and you can't do anything if you're living for. You can't do the things of the world. You can't. He said, "Be ye in the world. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." He wants us to live a holy life before him. You must be consecrated before the Lord. And so many times that we think that we see Moses, my I can relate to Moses because I can just I'm just speaking about me. I can't speak for nobody else. I can relate to Moses' story because Moses, God knew what was in Moses. He knew what he had put into Moses. But Moses wasn't quite sure. He didn't really know. Moses wasn't per se, um he was so worried about um the people, or what people would say, how people would perceive him. He was so worried about that. He was afraid. He was afraid to speak what God had said for him to speak, because Moses in Exodus 4, and start at the 10th verse. It says it says, "And Moses said unto the Lord, he said, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue." This right here let me know that we, and pretty much we saying that, telling God, you made a mistake when we start focusing on our disability. I just come to encourage you that God can, whatever disability that you have, God can, he can use you in that. Those are the people that God uses, those with disabilities. God didn't call the perfect. He didn't call those that already have it together. He didn't call those kind of people. He used people with disabilities. And I can remember, reason why I say I can relate to the story of Moses in Exodus chapter 4, because I was at a point out in a time in my life, I was so focused on what people said. how people was going to perceive me, what people was going to say when I speak. I wasn't delivered from people, what people say. But you know what? I could care less about what anybody say now. Because I know now, now that I know that God can use the ones that people don't, you don't qualify, but God qualifies the ones that are disqualified. He qualifies those that he called. He equips those that he called. So that let me know. God said, he told Moses, he said, and the Lord said unto him, he said, who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or blind? Who? God makes us. And he said, have not I the Lord? And then 12 said, now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say. See, God knew what he was doing. It's us. Think we know it all. We don't know nothing. God, he know what he doing. When he chose us, when he called us, he knew what he was doing. But we, with our little bit of self, don't know nothing, with our little bit of mind, our low thinking, we so worried about, we so focused about what man would say, how man would take us, how man we so afraid of what they would do unto us. God, he made us. He know just what he's doing. He don't make no mistake. He's too wise. He's too wise to make a mistake. So I just come to encourage somebody on today. God, he gonna use your disability. He already know. He uses your disability to do his will. Just move yourself out the way and allow God to have his perfect work. Let his let him work through you. And get rid of they say. Get rid of the they say. They say this. They say that. They say I'm this. They say I don't know how to do. They say I look a certain way. They say I'm not fit for the. Don't listen. When you began to get free from people and delivered from people, you will not worry about what God say. Are you gonna believe what they say, or you gonna believe what God say? I'm just here to tell you, I believe what God say. I believe what his word says. I believe that whatever he's calling me to do, he already predestined us for the joy. It is done. It is finished. It's up to you to walk by faith. It takes faith to believe in God. It takes faith. What do God say? Don't worry about what man say. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. God showed Moses several demonstrations of who he is in his word. He listen. Get in the word. It's several witnesses of God used that wasn't qualified for the purpose that, but God, he qualifies you. He qualified the disqualified. I'm telling you, he equips those he called, those he choose. So don't worry about what they say. Get rid of the they say and listen at what God say. Be blessed. Love you all.